I'm so and she's
Oh, you call her so?
Yeah, she's so. Yeah, she is so. She's so. That would be both of them are. All right, so that looks good from that way.
Mm-hmm.
That is what. Oh, the phone looks better than the camera, but we got to do that. And I finally found how to download Facebook. So we can download Facebook to YouTube. That's where I really want to put these at. You ready?
Yep.
Hello, Facebook. This is Soraya Vanhorn, the creator of the Business Underground. And we use this platform to highlight success stories. Those are the stories of success. Again, the teachers, the preachers, the authors, the creators, and let's not forget the disruptors, those that are changing the landscape of business, those that are taking their time to reach back to help others, just like you, to overcome fears. So today it is my pleasure to be outside of Detroit, Michigan, and with the lovely Miss Crysta Tyus. Welcome, Crysta.
Thank you, Soraya. Thank you. I'm
Thank you.
excited about this interview.
Me too. I've been following you. I've been stalking you for a little bit, and I reached out to Miss Crysta as sisterhood would have it, and she invited me to her lovely home, and this is just very palatial. We're here. I hope you guys can see the water lake in the back, and it's just awesome. So I'm just so excited to be here and to share your story.
Thank you.
Given that, we will ask you to give us a little bit of background about how you started.
Okay, yeah. So my name is Crysta Tyus, and I help entrepreneurs get more clients using social media and grow multi-six-figure businesses. So I started my journey several years ago in entrepreneurship, and I really struggled with marketing, just effectively trying to market my business, trying to attract and get more clients. And I made a lot of mistakes. And I was telling Soraya before we started, like, I invested in billboards, radio, TV, every door direct mail, flyers. I mean, I did everything that you could probably think about that you've seen on, on Google, or that you probably research, or that you've seen like other big brands do. I tried all of those marketing activities. And when it didn't work for me, I just went on this journey of trying to figure out why, one, it didn't work for me, when obviously it works for like big brands, right? And when I figured out what I needed to do and how I needed to do it, it completely changed my business around. So I literally went from, just some of the darkest, most depressed times of my life, just trying to figure it out, like broke, depressed, and not really understanding like a cohesive marketing strategy, to figuring it out and literally making 6 months in 6 months, making six figures in 6 months. And when I did that, and I went on that journey and I actually figured it out, I was just like, now I know what the process is. And I organically just kind of fell into just coaching, right? People were like, Crysta, I just organically started giving the information that I wanted to know at that time.
Somebody's looking for you, Miss Crysta. You're hot.
Should have turned it on airplane mode.
Sweet. So I want to back it up and talk about one of the main things that people are concerned about, and that's that F word, the fear. So many people are hindered by fear. They know that they have a purpose. That some of them may be struggling with that purpose and passion, but fear. When you started off, how big of a factor was fear for you and your mindset?
See, I think with me, I think that might be something that I could say I probably have an unfair advantage on because I never really let fear deter me. Like I went broke because I was not fearful, and and I used to joke with my family. I used to tell them like something's missing back here because I don't have that fear mentality. Like I literally will put it all on the line, and I know that it's only temporary. Like I just knew like you know going through hard moments, not having a lot of money, not having a lot of resources. So, how to effectively deal with fear is just to know that if you do fail, it's only temporary. It's not something that defines you, it's not something that you're going to be in forever. But without the risk, or without the risk, you can't really experience the reward. So, I would say definitely to mitigate being fearful, that means you probably just don't have a whole plan, right? So, try to plan as best as you can. Try to have a mentorship, coaching, somebody that can actually walk you through the process. One of the things that I learned was don't try to reinvent the wheel. Like I tried to reinvent the wheel and it caused me a lot of heartbreak and pain. Whereas I could have went to somebody and said, hey, just show me this process, give me the step-by-step system. So when you do have support, when you have mentorship, like that helps with the fear, and you got a plan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your business background. When you first started off, you started off in corporate or working for private industry, correct?
Yes, yep. I was at Bank of America for about 5 years, and
Okay.
then Chase Bank for about 2 years.
How much of that was a deciding factor of driving you out of that arena?
Right. You know what? That's a really great question. So it was a very big deciding factor. One, when you're a corporate, you're micromanaged, right? Which respectively so. Like
Right.
these companies they didn't have billions of dollars in revenue and valuation without having very strict policies and procedures. But as somebody who doesn't want to cap on their income, doesn't want to cap on their abilities, for me,
Right.
I didn't fit well with corporate when it came to being micromanaged. What I will say, and I just mentioned this the other day on a video, was that corporate America, I vouch for it still because it actually gave me the foundations to be an entrepreneur.
Amen.
So if it wasn't for working for Bank of America and Chase Bank, I wouldn't know the discipline required to even build a business, right?
Let me stop you right there. So many people, they work for a company all their lives, and unfortunately, when they get that pink slip, they don't know what to do.
Right.
They don't know what
Oh,
to
no.
do. Yeah, it truly is. This is probably, I know, I'll just say from the experience I've had at my last company, they came out of Purdue, they came out of IU,
Yeah.
and that was the only resume that they ever filled out.
Yeah.
Okay. And they were in this comfy job for 20 or 30 years and not having to even update a resume. And they're caught off guard.
Yeah.
They don't know how. They have all these high level processes and they're making
And
six
skills,
figures.
yeah.
Right. But when they come out, it's just like they don't know how to capture what they've been doing for somebody else in their own business. Yeah. So sometimes that is a hindrance if you don't know how to come out and get somebody that can hold you by the hand. Because just like you have a supervisor at work, how do you expect to come out and manage something entirely new when you don't have that discipline? And that's what a coach does for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So talk about that. When you came out, did you have a coach? We're talking about the F word, right?
Right. So no, and honestly, I'm so fascinated today with the coaching platform because I feel like there are a lot more coaches now that are using their expertise, their skills, their experience, and they're teaching other people. And I feel like several years ago, I didn't have that opportunity. I didn't see anyone that was showing up talking about how to grow that specific type of business. I'm pretty sure, I put up SBA, you can get coaches from there, but no. And I think that's a big factor on your success is your ability to track and measure your numbers.
Exactly.
So just like in corporate America, you had a boss to report to say, hey, this is what I did. This is all of what I accomplished. And you have accountability. And when you go and transition into entrepreneurship, you're not accountable to anybody. You don't have, so that's something that I definitely preach now is that you have to know your numbers. It's not personal. It's not, my clients would be like, Crysta, I feel like I'm not And I'm like, well, what does your number say?
Right.
And so we've actually created like processes, like you have to document your
Mhm.
numbers. How many people
Right.
did you talk to?
Mhm.
How many people did you
Right.
reach out to?
Mhm.
What was the conversations like? Because I'm trying to teach them that they have to be accountable to themselves, right?
Exactly.
Just like you would be accountable to a boss
Right,
in
exactly.
corporate.
Yeah. So Facebook, we're here again with the beautiful Miss Crysta Tyus in her lovely home, and we're talking about how to take your business to 30K. In other words, we're going to substitute your yearly salary for your monthly. Most people, and unfortunately, most, I will say a majority, I won't say most,
Right.
thank God for that, but many people are only clocking in at 30,000 a year. So how to take that 30,000 in the business that you know and to show you help you understand what it is you do. A lot of people are lost as to what their purpose and passion is. Let me ask you, Crysta, on that. How did you know what lane to swim in? They're always talking about staying in your lane. How did you know where you would land and what you would come out as a career as far as helping others with?
Mm, um, for taxes and accounting was something that I kind of just fell into because I was just passionate about it. But I knew very early on, even at a very young age, like I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. Like at 7 years old, I was going around. I had made a menu in a notebook, and I would go around and I would make my brother, my mom order food from me, and I would cook it, and they would have to pay it. So I knew very early on, like like I loved money, one, and I knew entrepreneurship was going to be it. And I knew finances was going to be something I was going to do. So when I was in corporate, I just naturally fell into taxes. Now, when I transitioned to coaching, I do tell people that you have to niche down.
Right.
And when I was trying to coach initially everybody how to grow their business and how to like get clients, because the strategies I teach could apply to any business, but I got lost in the sauce. Like nobody heard me.
Right.
But as soon as I niched down to what a business that I had actually grew to 6 figures, and I said, I can help you grow this business,
Exactly.
everybody heard it.
Right.
And I naturally just started
Exactly.
attracting more people.
Right.
So a niche is definitely important, but I just end up going with what I already had experience in and what already organically had grew to 6 figures.
You always hear that the riches are in the niches, and that's true. And I like to tell the story. It's just like being a doctor. If you go to a general doctor, general practitioner, they have one fee, but an anesthesiologist or somebody that specializes, you're really going to pay for that. And that's the same thing with a business. When you narrow it down, as Crysta says, you have to. It's scary. Now, that part can be scary. I will just tell my story. When I started off in travel, in 2007, travel, I can do everything. I will do Europe, you'll do Disney, we'll do Africa, whatever it is. You can't do it all. You have to. And that was scary for me. So I finally found my sweet spot in Underground Railroad tours. So again, that's my sweet spot in taking groups, helping them understand how to have nonprofits take vacations to donations and building those kind of platforms and having a fun fundraiser and travel. So it was scary to say, nope, I don't, to say no is powerful. Talk about that, saying no to the things that you don't do or the clients you don't support. Everybody's not for you, right?
No, everybody is not for you. They are not.
Exactly.
They are not. And you just got to be clear with your clients, because I was telling this to a past client. I said, the way that you want to grow your business is not the way that I'm an expert in. And I'm not saying you can't grow your business that way. It's just I'm not an expert in the way that you want to grow your business. So we had to mutually release each other. And that's okay, because for me and for anybody, if you're going to service your ideal client at the highest capacity, you're going to make sure you have the skills to do it, the knowledge. And for me, I don't want to teach anything that I'm not personally using in my business, that I'm not personally generating revenue from, helping my clients. So you do have to say no, so you can't stay in your zone of what genius, right? Your zone of excellence.
So again, Facebook, Crysta is the real deal, as you just heard us said, and it's genuine to come to someone. Again, I want to go back on what you said for getting free services. So there are lots of free services out there, and you get what you get, okay? Going to the SBA, you have SCORE, you have these retired executives that will give you their knowledge freely, but you get what you pay for free. I've gone several, and I got frustrated with that, honestly, because I never did get what I needed until I invested in myself at a high level. So in that, and I'll share it, I'm sure you got a similar story. When you're out there trying to get a $47 or $27 package, you're still kind of left with, looking like a deer in the headlight. You have to invest, because if I'm wanting to clock $1 million revenue, I can't be saying, well, can I get that for $97?
Right.
No way.
Right.
So why would I cheat myself if I don't want my clients to show up that way?
Right.
To nickel and dime something.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying when you everybody's not for you. In other words, if you're not ready to invest in yourself at a high level, because you're getting ready to take people for 30,000 K a month, you're getting ready to replace their yearly income.
Right. Yeah.
Who's your ideal client?
My ideal client, somebody who is passionate about what they're doing, somebody who is already, typically making income from their services.
Right.
So you already have to have the knowledge and skills. So if you're just completely starting off brand new, for the $30,000 per month mastermind, it's not for you. We have smaller packages for you to help you refine your niche and get your service and pricing. But this is somebody who is clear. This is the service I'm offering. This is the package that I want to present. And now I just need help scaling it to the $500,000 plus mark.
Awesome.
Yep.
I know, again, this focus here, again, we have Crysta Tyus here, who is helping businesses understand how to use social media marketing to take your business to 30K a month. And this is real talk. So again, get your friends, share, click like and share. Don't be stingy with that. And that brings me to another point I want to say there.
Yeah.
So many times women, I'll just shine the light on us for a minute.
Okay.
You don't want to share things. Even shoes. Girl, where'd you get those shoes from? Oh, I forgot. I got it out of town or something. It's like, where you got those shoes from. So the same story goes with success. And I'll go back again, the Business Underground. It reminds me so much of slavery. We just, came out of the Harriet Tubman movie and story. I won't tell, and Harriet did not free people. Go back and get her family and the others at the plantation until she knew how to free herself. You cannot take that baggage with you. Erykah Badu says, bag lady. You can't get free. You have to, all that baggage you carry, you have to get rid of that baggage before you know how to go back and free somebody else. So there's power in freedom. And that's one of the words I'm claiming for 2020. Freedom is it, to help people. My goal is to help at least 100 get 100,000 in 2020. That's my personal goal in my business. So again, the Business Underground, we highlight individuals. If you're listening and you have a success story, you would like to share it with others, we'd like to highlight you. If you would go to bit.ly/IND TBU, that's for the Business Underground. We'd like to highlight you on the show to help you share. In other words, we're all about giving back. So my story about Harriet Tubman is just this. From Indianapolis, which is my home base, we have the Madam Walker Theater there. And Madam Walker, they're actually, the university is putting over $15,000 in revamping that university. And so many times you hear about Madam Walker, C.J. Walker, being the first self-made millionaire. In other words, she wasn't born into this money. She was the original network marketer on foot soldier. But it wasn't her. Being from St. Louis, Annie Malone was the first self-made millionaire. So Annie Malone had a college. Same story. She had started her involvement in making this hair salve because she was losing hair at her temples. So she had made this salve and she created a college. She had a college called Poirot College. And in that, Madam Walker was one of her students. Back in the day, the mentality was different. They were all about giving. I want to give to you so that when you get free, you run further than I do. And that was the whole thing. Where did things change that we covet things that we don't want to share our knowledge? I truly believe, and I know you do too, what God has for me is for me. We may be in the same lane, but guess what?
For me is for me.
And you have to believe that when you know that your gifting and your passion is your purpose, and you know that's your purpose, then you'll be blessed with it. Tyler Perry, I mean, his stories are just unbelievable.
I love Tyler Perry.
When you listen to him and you see the growth there, and that's truly what he believes. You have to give. You hear that in church all the times. You can't receive when your hands are closed. You gotta open up. Gotta open up. So talk about opening up and how that has blessed you. Yeah.
That's a really good question. Yeah. So it wasn't until the day that I said, I'm just going to freely give all the information I wish somebody had told me.
Mhm.
And when I did that, just really came from a place of service. I was just like, I didn't hold anything back. I was like, what do I wish I would have known 5 years ago, 7 years ago, 10 years ago when I started this? And I just broke out my cell phone. I recorded myself, and I literally I gave freely.
Wow.
And every time I give freely, every time I share my journey, every time I share information, just what I wish I would have known, I always receive, right? So I think it's so true. You do have to give in order to receive. And actually, that's like the highest form of value when you just freely give.
Exactly.
And so my mission, actually, our mission statement is to make your journey easier. So whatever information, whatever resources that we could provide, we just want to make your journey easier. I just want to make your journey easier to where you don't have to go through the heartbreaking pain. You don't have to be homeless with kids to get the lesson. You could get the lesson from somebody who's willing to share it with you. Yeah, and that's so important.
That's true. That is so true. Being your background is accounting. I know one of the main things that I tell my clients when we're instructing them on the three main people that you need in your business life, and that's the baker, accountant, and an attorney, right? Okay, so in that, talk about how having a bookkeeper on staff, or having access to a bookkeeper is so paramount when a business owner is first starting out.
Yes. So it's important because a lot of business, well, if you look at the research, 90% of businesses go out of business within like the first 5 years or so. And when you look at why, it's mostly centered around like cash flow and the inability to get clients and cash flow, right? So one of those problems is that as you're growing your business, you need to understand your numbers, right? You need to understand where your money is going, because I have no doubt that with hustle, just with sheer hustle, you're going to get clients, right? We want you to have a plan. We want you to have a marketing process. With sheer hustle, you'll be able to go out, generate some business, generate some income. What people find oftentimes is that when they're making money, they're spending money, and then they look up and they're like, how many, you could tell me if you've ever been through this. But I remember I had made almost 6 figures in like 16 weeks, and it was not reflected in my bank account. I said, where did my money go? Right? And I talked to so many people where they're like, oh yeah, we got 10,000, we got 8,000. Or I made 30,000, 50,000. I'd be like, well, where did your money go? And they'd be like, I have no idea. And so when you don't have an idea of where your money is going, you can't get better. Now you have, gaps in your finances. Now you have cash flow problems, right? Now you're thinking like, man, I'm making 10 grand a month, but why doesn't it feel like it? Right? And so if you don't have a firm handle on what you're spending on money on today, you can't make better decisions for the future. So when you have a very competent like bookkeeper, accountant, not only do they handle the after the fact bookkeeping and accounting for you, right? Which is important. You need to know like where you've been so you can figure out where you're going. But a great professional is actually going to help you project to the future. So you want your bookkeeper or your accountant to actually do a forecast, a budget for you, right? So put yourself on a budget. Like how much money are you willing to, or how much money do you need to spend in order to run your business effectively 6 months from now? Also, you're going to be able to spot gaps in your business cycle. So we all, no matter really the business, we all kind of have like ebbs and flows in our business, right? For instance, if you are a retail provider and you know that you're going to hit it hard during the holiday season, but you're really slow during like March and April, you need to know and have that foresight so you don't go and spend your savings on expanding your infrastructure in April, because your money is going to be tight. So if you have somebody that can actually forecast out where your slow periods are, so and you know how to handle your money during those times, you know how to actually have a cash flow reserve so for those slower times, your business is just going to churn a lot faster. Like you're going to be more efficient. So cash flow management, budgeting and forecasting, like those future based accounting is what's really important, not just the after the fact bookkeeping. Yeah, so that's important for sure.
Good. I want to bring you back. You had mentioned something about you teach your clients about niching. So in that, when we're talking bookkeeping, when you have a new client that's, say they're in transportation, how important is it for that particular client to find someone, bookkeeper, that knows specifically how to speak that language?
Yeah, that's so important. So all of my accountants, bookkeepers, CPAs, I always tell them they got a niche down. But they be like, Crysta, I got a master's degree. I can help everybody. I'm like, I know you can help everybody, but we're going to focus. So the reason why is because a transportation company business model is different from a chiropractor, right? So transportation company, they're looking like, fuel and maintenance. They're looking at, what is it, dot transportation fees and decals and things like that. Just there are very specific laws around fuel tax, excise tax. So if your accountant is helping any and everybody, they aren't aware of some of the little nuances in your business that they can be looking out for, that they can actually help you strategically make and save more money on. So when your accountant or bookkeeper actually focuses and is dedicated in your profession, they're able to help you at a much higher capacity, because now they can say, hey, Mr. Business Owner, you're a dentist, you're dental practice owner. Based upon my analysis, you're spending 20% more than an average dental practice owner. We need to figure out where are some of these inefficiencies, where are some of the bloat, the excess that is. So when your person specializes, they have very unique industry knowledge that that generalists just don't have.
Exactly. Crysta, I want to have you share with the people how to get in contact with you and what you have to offer for clients starting and those that are mature and want to take it to the next level.
Oh yeah, thank you. So we're launching our mastermind for 2020. So I know it's a long time coming for this, and it's really for people that are ready. They're committed. It's for the people that you feel in your heart that you got a bigger calling for yourself, and you just know that you just need the step-by-step process, the ABC 1, 2, 3, and you're going to be able to take it to the heights that you want. So I want to work with a small group of people in 2020 very intimately and help them grow their business to $30,000 plus per month, help them have the type of impact, right, that they want. Because that's really what I'm all about, is how many more people can we impact and inspire and help them reach their journey. So if you want more information about the mastermind, if you want a higher level of accountability, a higher level of excellence, because this is not for the faint of heart. Like this is like we are peak performance, right? So mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, we're going to look at all aspects of your life and help you become the person that you're meant to become. So if you're interested, you can email me at hello@CrystaTyus.com. That's hello@CrystaTyus.com.
Awesome. That's sweet. So again, everyone, this is Crysta Tyus, and again, her specialty is helping you, no matter what your business is, to level it up to 30K per month. Again, we are freeing people in 2020. One thing I want to leave you with, one of my favorite shows is Empire, and Terrence Howard, in his one of his skits, he said that the streets are not for everybody, and that's why they made sidewalks. So given that, we will sign off. Again, this is Soraya Vanhorn, the Business Underground, where we are shining the light on your pathway to freedom. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Soraya. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a great time, guys. Bye.
Bye.